with Pakistan on Kashmir and is a big, big supporter of Pakistan's cause on Capitol Hill. Rahul never pulled up his colleague, then Navjot Singh Sidhu, for hugging then Pakistan General Bajwa, if you remember, viewers. Today, Afridi says Rahul speaks his language. The question is simple. When Afridi bats for Rahul, is it Islamabad recognizing its echo chamber in the Congress headquarters in New Delhi? Aren't Afridi's sentiments a recognition that Pakistan believes that Congress is more pliable and Modi's NDA less so? Let's open this up. Let's pose some of these questions. I have several more viewers. Let's start this evening. And I want to begin straight off the bat with the Congress representative here. Can we go straight across to our panel? There we have him. And Mr. Abbas, you're a sympathizer. We're awaiting also Nikhil Jain. The national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Sanju Verma, is there. Long-time Pakistan observer, Sushant Sareen, also with us. So, Mr. Abbas, simple question. Is Shahid Afridi waiting for the day that the Congress party comes back to power, just like once Mani Shankar Iyer had said in Pakistan, imploring the Pakistanis to get rid of Modi so that a big thorn in their flesh is removed and someone soft and pliable, a puppet on a string, can take the gaddi, so to speak, in Delhi? Is that really what Afridi is saying? Because that seems to be the prevailing belief in Islamabad circles.
राहुल साहब, सबसे पहले जय हिंद, जय भारत, हिंदुस्तान जिंदाबाद, पाकिस्तान और शाहिद अफरीदी मुर्दाबाद. Who is Shahid Afridi? Shahid Afridi is an absolute failure, is an absolute example of an nincompoop. This person, who is absolutely no match to the likes of Virat Kohli or a Sachin Tendulkar, today he preaches about Rahul Gandhi or Modi does not matter to me. But when the Pahalgam attack happened, the same nincompoop of a Shahid Afridi spoke against my country. So therefore,
sir, I'm not talking about. I'm not here. I'm not here. Hang on. I'm not here.
To India.
No, I understand, and I completely support what you're saying. But let me just quickly. Okay, excuse me, Mr.
Who is this with Shahid Afridi? Who is hobnobbing with Shahid Afridi?
Okay, now you've come to the point. Now you've come to the point. Now you brought out the Congress Party national spokesperson's tweet. No, so I'm going to ask you. It's not Shahid Afridi, despite sharing that stage with the former minister of the NDA, Mr. Anurag Thakur, I think. Isn't that the picture that you're showing me?
Yes, right.
Now,
that's right.
Now, hang on.
Also, Jai Shah.
Okay, one second.
Also, Jai Shah,
one second.
son of Amit Shah.
Okay, one second. Don't get so excited. We all know who Jai Shah is. It's okay. No problems. I just want to say one thing, viewers. He's actually wishing that NDA, Modi and everyone go so that we don't have another Israel. We don't have another Israel on the subcontinent. We have the UPA version of India that was scared of taking action after 26/11. And there are enough leaders. Mr. Chidambaram, who came out and said that we prefer interlocution, dialogue. That's exactly what he's referring to. I want Rahul Gandhi who can, you see, be nice and convivial. We can have a nice chat. So I just want to open this up because Mr. Abbas is not addressing the issue here. The issue here, sir, is for all those photographs you're showing me, Afridi and company in Pakistan want the BJP to go because they can't handle them. They are much happier with a Congress regime. That's what he's saying. Can you please explain why he would be saying this?
I will definitely explain that. Shahid Afridi's stand has been sacrosanct when it comes to our beautiful country. But this man in this year, 2025, February, 2 months before Pahalgam attack, is hobnobbing with Amit Shah, leader of the second tallest leader of BJP.
We all have those photographs. We all know all of that. The point is he still wants to see them go. He's not saying we want Modi to stay on. Modi is a good leader. No, Modi is a bad leader because Modi has gone across the border and actually delivered big shocks to us. Let him go. He thinks he's Israel. They made the country into another Israel. Who wants another Israel to boss us around? We want a nice, pleasant country that believes in dialogue, that wants to carry everyone along. That is the kind of country. So I'm asking you, why does the Pakistanis believe that Rahul is such a positive softie? That's the question.
Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi's father lost his life
No, no,
to
don't
this
talk
country.
about his father. Talk about Rahul Gandhi. He didn't talk about Rahul Gandhi's father,
lost his life
sir.
for this country. And we question the
Okay.
patriotism
Take.
of a
No,
Rahul Gandhi.
one second.
No,
One
just
second.
think
Viewers,
of this.
now
Okay,
we will
these
go
are
down to the grandfather, we will go to the
ignoramus like a
great grandfather,
Shahid
we will go then down
We do
another
not care about
rabbit hole.
Shahid
The
Afridi.
question is,
We do not
the
care to
answer
for a
is
Shahid
not
Afridi.
coming to the question that I am repeatedly posing. Sushant Sareen, maybe you can help. Is there
Why
a
do we
view?
take Shahid
Is there a
Afridi?
view within the establishment
Shahid
in
Afridi is a
Pakistan? Okay,
loser.
Mr. Abbas, it's fine. Sometimes we are lost for an answer. It's okay. You don't have to then, get so. It's okay. Sometimes let it go. It's a difficult one. I understand. I sympathize with you. I began by saying I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. You're a very great guy. And I'm saying, I'm glad that at least you've rubbished this Afridi. But Afridi loves Rahul Gandhi. Sushant Sareen, is there okay, one second.
There are people in Pakistan who want Modi ji as the Prime Minister.
Okay, one second. They're not in the establishment. They're not in the establishment. Because in the establishment, everyone wants them out. That's why Mani Shankar Iyer was praying to the establishment to get rid of Modi. Should I play you that soundbite? I have it. Anyhow, just a minute. I want to bring in Sushant Sareen. Sushant Sareen, let's just open this up. Because I want your perspective. Are there people who would be more comfortable with a Congress regime, with a Rahul Gandhi as Prime Minister, etc., than a Modi? Or am I barking up the wrong tree?
No, Rahul, you're not. And I think it's something for the Congress party to think that there was a time not too long back, maybe 20, 25 years back, and I've been watching Pakistan for over 30 years now. There was a time when in Pakistan, the people or the party they used to fear the most was the Congress party. And I remember that in 1980, when Indira Gandhi came back to power, there was a lot of trepidation in Pakistan as to what Mrs. Gandhi will do to them. Even since Abbas is mentioning Rajiv Gandhi, even when Rajiv Gandhi was Prime Minister, they were always very wary of India. They always thought Congress party was the one which would beat the hell out of the Pakistanis. From that time to now, when across the board in Pakistan, people think that if Rahul Gandhi comes in, the old policy, which was during Manmohan Singh's time, even earlier, that India will turn the other cheek and the Pakistanis can continue playing merry hell into India, that India will continue to have cricket matches. And I'm a trenchant critic of this government and the BCCI for going with this damn cricket match. And, the company which they keep of the Pakistanis, I'm a trenchant critic. So nobody needs to accuse me of or tell me or throw on my face that why are these guys meeting. I really think it makes for terrible optics and it makes for terrible judgment of people like Anurag Thakur and others who put the interests of cricket above the interests of the country when they meet lowlifes like Shahid Afridi. But having said that, I think it's a time for people in the Congress party to think, why is it that Pakistanis who have nothing good to do with India, nothing good to say about India, want that this party or this leader should come and lead India because they think he will be soft on Pakistan, and that old compartmentalization that you continue to doing trade, you continue doing Mombati marches and mushairas and cricket matches, and you continue doing terrorism will happen. I think to the credit of Mr. Modi and this government, they have stopped that. That is one. Secondly, as far as, a lowlife like Shahid Afridi, look, he's a half-wit. He's half-educated, probably unlettered also. And he is a third-rate fellow anyways. He was a third-rate cricketer. He's a third-rate fellow, right? But I think what is important for people like Mr. Abbas to understand is that all that Mr. Abbas has said in his opening statement before he switched over onto politicking makes him, in the Pakistani eye, a Sarkari Musalman. For Pakistanis, one second, Abbas, just a second. For Pakistanis, any Indian Muslims who believes in India, who talks for India, who stands up to India, a Mohammed Kaif, for example, or in recent days, you would have seen the spat between Irfan Pathan and this lowlife Shahid Afridi. Look at the kind of statements that come out from Pakistan. So any Indian Muslim who believes in India, who stands with India, and we'll have our own problems, we'll have our own political differences, all of that will happen. For them, but people like Irfan Pathan, people like Sayyid Abbas are lesser Muslims. These are fake Muslims. These are Sarkari Muslims. They are not genuine Muslims because they don't hate India. They don't hate the Hindus. They are not dealing with the Hindus.
Dilshad,
That is the Pakistani mindset. And if Mr. Rahul Gandhi, with whatever positions he's taking, gets the Pakistanis to endorse him, then I think it is a matter for serious concern in the
Serious.
Congress. The Congress party should really needs to rethink the stand it is taking. And and I say this with all seriousness because Congress party being the principal opposition party, I think it's very important for Indian democracy to have a party. But if a party
So-
which is the principal opposition party is seen by enemies of India
Yes.
as their friend, when they will not give up their enmity towards India, I think that is a matter for introspection among the Congress.
And that tells you, viewers, how there is a schism in this country when it comes to dealing with Pakistan. Certain political parties have vote bank compulsions and therefore want to go easy on Pakistan. And Pakistan invests in those political parties. It champions the leaders of those political parties. It praises the leaders of those political parties. It wants those leaders to come to power and perhaps even engineers a situation in this country, viewers, through its various proxies to create instability. I don't know. It's possible. Many people have said so. And let me just read out something. Why is it that Pakistan is comfortable with a UPA-like government led by the Congress, preferably also a coalition? I'll tell you, because Shiv Shankar Menon, Foreign Secretary and later NSA, these are his words written in black and white in his biography, Choices Inside the Making of India's Foreign Policy, his own book. And he says, I urged retaliation, but the decision was changed. And he's talking about 2611. Sanju Verma, please pay heed, because this is very important. This is very important. He said, quote, my preference was for overt action against LET headquarters in Muridke or the LET camps in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and covert action against their sponsors, the ISI. Menon says he urged Prime Minister Manmohan Singh and External Affairs Minister Pranab Mukherjee that India should retaliate militarily, believing Pakistan had crossed the line and needed more than a standard response. Mukherjee publicly said all options were open, but on sober reflection and in hindsight, I now believe that the decision not to retaliate militarily and to concentrate on diplomatic, covert and other means was the right one for that time and place. Who took this decision? To go with covert, concentrate on diplomatic. Yes, बातचीत करते रहेंगे. बातचीत करते रहेंगे. Menon also explains the reasons weighing against military retaliation. Because, viewers, damage to LET camps likely would have been limited. There were simple structures, easily rebuilt, etc., etc. These were some of the reasons that he was giving. Can you believe it, viewers? They were finding excuses not to strike. What do you think? They have become some Taj Mahals on the border all this while? No, viewers, there's still those rickety little things where people go for a few days and then sneak across the border. But the idea is to strike. And viewers, Pranab Mukherjee, he also rescinded. First he said, no, we should do all of this, and then rejected. Chidambaram was also another one. Prime Minister Manmohan Singh and Foreign Minister both categorically told her, this is Condoleezza Rice, that they were against war, despite increasing public pressure, but wanted Pakistan to do something. This is Condoleezza Rice saying this, viewers. So, I want to ask Mr. Jain today. Mr. Jain, it's quite clear that Afridi is batting for Rahul Gandhi because they believe that there will be a more pliable leader, not a hard, stern, Israeli-like individual who will come for them with his tomahawks drawn, like Modi. That's the big deal. That's the entire thrust of what Afridi is saying. He's open for dialogue. He's a lovely man, positive. अच्छे गुण हैं उनमें. हमारी पिटाई नहीं करेंगे वो.
Now
Of
that
course,
you've had your
answer
speech,
the
can I make my
question.
point?
Yes, answer the question.
That's what I want to answer. See,
Please.
Shahid Afridi in the past many years has shown the kind of vile person he is, the kind of lacking intellect person he is, and such people are often talk one thing and do another. He would talk praises about the Congress leader, but he would chill and have fun in the stadium with the BJP Home Minister's son. what Shahid Afridi says, frankly, doesn't really matter to me. If he says he wants Narendra Modi to be the Prime Minister, I don't care. If he wants Rahul Gandhi to be the Prime Minister, I don't care.
Oh, you
And
don't
Mr.
care?
Sareen pointed out a definition that the Pakistani establishment. Why should I care? Why should I care what these vile individuals, vile cricketers, and the Pakistani establishment want
Okay.
in terms of who we want to lead our country? If we want Narendra Modi to lead it, he will lead it. If we want Rahul Gandhi to lead it, he will lead it. Shahid Afridi, Asif Munir, and all these people from Pakistan have absolutely no right of saying in that. And I don't think we should even be talking, or giving them any weightage.
Okay.
The world does not give them any weightage.
Okay.
Our team, hit them
Okay,
out
so
of the
he's
park
a
in the
nobody,
match
you're
right now.
saying.
Of course,
He's a
none of us
nobody,
agree.
let's not take him seriously. So let me ask you then.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, so now, does it matter then to you? Does it matter to you, since you don't care about Shahid Afridi? Should you care when Rahul Gandhi meets Ilhan Umar? Should you care when Rahul Gandhi fails to rebuke Navjot Sidhu, who was at that time a prominent Congress leader picked by Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi to lead the Congress fight in Punjab, a border state, when he went, no, listen to me, let me finish. When he went about hugging Qamar Bajwa, the general at that time, the boss of Pakistani's military. I'm asking you, did it matter to you then?
Rahul, I remember a couple of weeks ago when everybody from the opposition was saying that Prime Minister Modi should strongly rebuke President Donald Trump for the kind of insults he was meting out to the Prime Minister of India and to the Indian state in general. And you were passing sermons and teaching me lessons on your show.
Mr. Jain, I'm asking you a specific question. Are you okay with Rahul Gandhi meeting Ilhan Omar? Simple question.
Giving you a specific answer that in diplomacy, you hobnob with people and shake hands with people you don't politically or strategically or militarily agree with. Let's not forget that Prime Minister Modi himself, took an unannounced stop in Pakistan to have biryani and celebrate the wedding, I think, or the birthday of Nawaz Sharif's daughter or granddaughter. And that's how diplomacy is. See, Prime Minister Modi in his first few years also tried the strategy of dialogue with Pakistan, but that
so
thoroughly
it's
failed
okay
as it did for the
if
previous
your
government.
leader, who is not representing the government or anybody, goes about hugging and praising and saying Qamar Bajwa is a lovely person, a person who has Indian blood in his hand, no problems. The Pakistani armies, no, hang on. The spear tip of the Pakistani army is a lovable person. Do you know what he has said? Navjot Sidhu, when he hugged him, it's okay, is it? It's fine, it's diplomacy.
Is Navjot Singh Sidhu the chief
Can I
minister of
please
Punjab?
come in,
Okay,
Rahul?
yes. The BJP national spokesperson wants to respond to you. No one is anybody, viewers. No one is anybody. That's the Congress response. Even Rahul Gandhi is a nobody.
Rahul, first and foremost, let's get one thing very clear. The fact that Shahid Afridi is a low life, Shahid Afridi is Hindu-phobic, Shahid Afridi hates Narendra Modi, Shahid Afridi hates Hindus. We know all that. That is in the public domain. This debate is not about a low life called Shahid Afridi. This debate is about the fact that why is it repeatedly, be it Pakistani cricketers, or for that matter, the former Information and Broadcasting Minister of Pakistan, a man called Fawad Chaudhry, or for that matter, the current Pakistani Prime Minister, Shehbaz Sharif. Umpteen occasions, these leaders have appreciated Rahul Gandhi for what he is and who he is. The point is why. And I'll tell you why. That is what your audience needs to know. After Operation Sindoor, one of the most successful operations against Pakistan in post-independent India's history, whereby we not only crossed the LOC, we not only crossed the international border, we struck at the heart of Rawalpindi. Can I please, Rahul, can you ask this man to shut up? I did not interject.
Mr. Jain, no one interrupted you.
Can you shut up, Nikhil Jain?
No one is insulting any forces, sir. Do you know that the forces themselves came out? The forces themselves. One second, Mr. Jain, I have to lower your fader if you keep on interrupting. I just want to make it very clear that a former air marshal came out and said that we were ready to go across the border and strike, and we were told not to do so. You have Shiv Shankar Menon on record, who was an NSA, who says that our hands were stilled. And perhaps it was a good thing that happened in the
Similar
end.
statements were made
I
by
don't
senior
understand,
army
Rahul,
officers,
why-
armed forces officers.
So,
even this
Sanju
time
Arnav,
around,
go
but
ahead.
All of their voices were silent.
No,
Yes.
I refuse to debate like this because when this man was talking, I did not
What do you
interject
expect?
him.
What do you expect? When somebody doesn't have
This
an
guy is a
argument, they'll
shameless-
disrupt somebody else,
a
isn't it? What do you
shameless
expect?
guy.
Yes, Sanju Arnav.
A shameless guy who does not even have the guts to say that he's from the Indian Youth Congress and he sits here and gives lectures as a neutral political analyst. Shut up. I did not interject you. I will not allow you to take away from my time. Get that loud and clear.
Yeah.
Let me make one thing very clear.
Make your
As
point.
I said, this is not about Shahid Afridi's low-life credentials. This is about the fact that when Operation Sindoor turned out to be a massive success, what did Rahul Gandhi do?
Okay.
Did Rahul Gandhi congratulate our forces? No. There was a massive debate on the floor of the parliament. Rahul,
Yes.
Shiv Shankar, your namesake Rahul Gandhi was missing during that important discussion on Operation Sindoor on the floor of the House. Point number one. Sandeep Dixit, the son of former Chief Minister of Delhi, Sheila Dixit, called the ex-CDS Bipin Rawat, who's no more, Sadak Ka Gunda. And Rahul Gandhi, what did he say? You know, just about a year and a half back at Cambridge, he said,
Okay.
the Chinese came into India और जो चीनी सेना है भारतीय सेना की खूब जमकर पिटाई की. This is the language you use for your armed forces, and then you have the audacity to take the moral high ground saying हम तो अपनी सेना के साथ है. And one very important point I want to make.
Okay, big breaking news coming in. 1 second, Sanju Verma, big, massive breaking news coming in. Please pay attention to this because I'll want your reaction sooner than later. Very big affirmation, viewers, of the way in which the Modi government has handled national security and especially internal security, viewers. Sushant Sareen is also here with us. Big win for the government. The CPI-Maoists have declared a ceasefire with the Modi government. Remember, viewers, about 15 years to about 17 years ago, then Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh had said that the Maoist insurgency in this country was the #1 security threat, internal security threat to this country. Today, the CPI-Maoists have thrown in the towel and they have come out and said that we want an unconditional ceasefire. And I want to go straight across to Arunima, who actually is reporting on this story. Arunima, massive turning point.
Yes, and this is something which government was pushing for. In fact, this statement that has been issued by Abhay, he goes by a single name. He calls himself the spokesperson of CPI-Maoist. I'm just reading out. The statement is in Hindi. Just bear with me as I translate. He says, हमारे पार्टी के माननीय महासचिव ने के पहलकदमी पर शुरू हुई शांति वार्ता को प्रक्रिया को आगे ले जाने के लिए तहत हम ये स्पष्ट करना चाहते हैं कि बदलते हुए विश्व एवं देश की परिस्थितियों के अलावा लगातार देश के प्रधानमंत्री, गृह मंत्री से लेकर वरिष्ठ पुलिस अधिकारियों तक हमें हथियार छोड़कर मुख्य धारा में शामिल होने के लिए लगातार अनुरोध कर रहे हैं. So this says that everyone from the Prime Minister to the Home Minister to senior police officers have been telling us continuously to give up arms and become a part of the mainstream. तो इसके मद्देनजर हमने तय किया है हथियार छोड़ने का निर्णय लिया है, which means we are giving up arms. हथियार बंद संघर्ष को अस्थायी रूप से विराम घोषित करने का निर्णय लिया है, which means that they are deciding to cease fire without giving any deadline. They're not saying that we are giving a deadline that please come back to us by this date and it's a conditional ceasefire. It is an unconditional ceasefire that they are offering. And in that statement further below, it says a lot of our cadre and senior leadership is in jail. So we need to reach out to them. We need to convince them. So give us 1 month's time. Now, I called up the top intelligence officials who deal with Naxalism. They're still processing the statement that has been issued. And the reason they are being cautious is that in Andhra Pradesh, the experience was that when the Greyhounds put the CPI-Maoists on the back foot, they offered ceasefire and utilized the ceasefire timing to regroup and come back in large numbers in Chhattisgarh. So having seen that experience, I think the establishment is treading cautiously, but this definitely is a huge development that CPI-Maoist is willing to give up arms and then offer unconditional ceasefire.
Well, viewers, this is very big because tomorrow is, of course, Prime Minister's 75th birthday. Massive vindication for Modi's security doctrine. The Maoist terror group, which is the CPI-Maoist, viewers, has decided to throw in the towel. They have surrendered their weapons and they have called for an unconditional ceasefire. They've declared an unconditional ceasefire. This is a massive turning point. The amount of men, material lost, the number of political parties who have been bled by this scourge in the red corridor, as it was called, that once extended across 7 states. And we have a map, viewers, and I will show you how the footprint has shrunk over the years. And we put that map out a few days back, so we're going to pull that out. We're going to try and show you how that sustained onslaught by the Modi government has reduced that massive corridor to a few districts and now one hill area, one very hilly region. And Arunima, talk a little bit about that one bastion that they were holding on to for dear life, and now it appears that it has become unsustainable for them to even do that, and therefore they've thrown in the towel. The timing is a massive boost for Prime Minister Modi's entire doctrine that he founded on no prisoners approach. Arunima.
This statement also, Rahul, makes a reference to the death of Basavanna Raju. Basavanna Raju was the chief of CPI-Maoist. He was gunned down earlier this year. In last week of May and in the early part of June, there was a massive, security cordon that was thrown all around Abujmar. And Basavanna Raju, the chief of CPI-Maoist, lost his life then. And that, I think, broke the back of CPI-Maoist. The only big name that we hear from the party is Hidma, the PLJ Battalion 1, and any time now intelligence agencies are confident that they know broadly where Hidma is. Other than that, this week itself, Kishanji, if you recall, Kishanji was the big Maoist leader who was gunned down in West Bengal. His wife, Sujata, another person who was in the top leadership of CPI-Maoist, she has also surrendered. So it is clear that the leadership of CPI-Maoist is either surrendering or getting killed. Tirupati has been appointed as the new General Secretary of CPI-Maoist, and under his leadership, this offer has come from Abhay, who's the spokesperson, saying we are willing to lay down arms. But I have to point it out once again here that the agencies are treading cautiously. Yes, they want CPI-Maoists to surrender. They want them to get back to mainstream. But because of the experience that they have had with the Naxals in Telangana, in Andhra Pradesh, when Telangana and Andhra Pradesh were one state, they're treading cautiously and confirming whether CPI-Maoist is serious about giving up arms or the ceasefire offer is just a camouflage to take a step back and then regroup. That's the reason why the agencies are treading cautiously before they react. But because this is big news, that if this is confirmed that Abhay indeed has the support of the entire cadre and leadership, the remaining leadership, then CPI-Maoist is making that big turnaround and accepting Home Minister Amit Shah's appeal that give up arms and join the mainstream.
Big viewers, this is a very big development. This is a massive feather in the cap of the Modi government. I just want to quickly open this up also. Arunima, just stay on with me because we're going to go through the timeline with you in just a few moments. It would also be great to actually have you on air with us visually so that we could put you in one of those windows. And I just want to open this up. We were just talking, viewers, about the fact that the Modi government is perceived as one that does not take prisoners or has a no prisoners approach, so to speak, when it comes to defending the national interests, specifically with regards to internal and external security. And that is now being borne out. Now, I just want to quickly get Sushant Sarin's expert opinion on this. There is also, of course, Mr. Jain, who's raising his hand. Remember, viewers, a few days ago, a large number of these great ecosystem types were talking about how human rights were being crushed and so on and so forth, forgetting very, Sanju Verma, stay on with me, forgetting very conveniently the human rights that have been completely crushed by these Maoists of our internal security apparatus and the people that are part of it. Sushant Sarin.
Yeah, so I think, Rahul, I think one can say without any fear of contradiction that the decimation of these Maoist terrorists, I would call them, is probably the single greatest achievement, at least on the security domain, internal security domain of the Modi government. I don't think anybody can refute that because there was a time when Dr. Manmohan Singh had himself said that something like 140 odd districts were, in a sense, had Maoist influence, and today, they've been reduced to a tiny area, and they would have been decimated had they continued to fight. So I think this ceasefire announcement is not coming because suddenly there's been some kind of a epiphany in these Maoists that they want to have, they want to join the mainstream. But I think it's the sheer force of arms that has forced them into this particular position. And I completely agree with those in the security establishment. But I think this is going to be a little tricky because how do you continue to take a political initiative to take these guys out of the underground and bring them into the mainstream while ensuring that they don't do what they've done many times in the past, which is use the peace, which comes
Yes.
to and then refight against the Indian state. Secondly, and I think very critically, when they talk about human rights, it's a laughable thing. All the terrorists, including these Jaish-e-Mohammed types, will talk about human rights and how people have been killed, etc., etc. But they will never talk about the kind of massacres and the kind of barbarism that the Maoists themselves did to people who did not agree with them or people who opposed them. And there have been instances where almost 70, 80 top politicians and their security personnel were killed, including people from Mr. Jain's party. There have been innumerable security force personnel who have been butchered in cold blood. And clearly, the fact that you've broken the back of this particular movement, it was a very pernicious and a very poisonous movement. I think all credit to this government. In the last 10 years, I think this is a stellar achievement of this particular government.
This is very, very big. Yes, Sanju Verma, what would you put this to? What would you put this down to? Many people have been questioning the tactics that were used.
Rahul, I just want to say one thing. Amit Shah, the Union Home Minister, had categorically said after Operation Black Forest in June this year that come 31st March 2026, Naxalism will be dead for good. And lo behold, I think we are moving fast towards that, because don't forget, LWE, left-wing extremism related districts, the number of districts, LWE districts, have come down from 287 in 2013 to just 12 now. Most affected districts by Naxals and Maoists, that number has come down from 164 in 2013 to just 18 now. And there's something called districts of concern, districts that were impeded by the Naxal movement. That number has come down from 178 to just 5. So no matter how you look at the data, left-wing extremism has been dealt a body blow by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Amit Shah. But very quickly, in 10 seconds, I want to tell the ecosystem, the Darbari ecosystem. There was an Elgar Parishad event held in 2017,
Yes.
and the agenda was to assassinate Prime Minister Modi. And who were the accused? The accused were people like Rona Wilson, Varavara Rao, Anand Teltumbre, Varnan Gonzalez, Gautam Navlakha, Arun Ferreira, Mahesh Raut, Sudhir Dhawale, Jyoti Jagtap,
Yes.
Surendra Gadling, and the dead Stan Swamy. And who has been endorsing Stan Swamy even after his death? Rahul Gandhi and Darbaris.
Well,
who has
viewers-
been endorsing Gautam Navlakha? Rahul Gandhi and Darbaris. Who has been endorsing Varnan
Okay.
Gonsalves? Rahul Gandhi and Darbaris. इसलिए
Well-
थोड़ी शर्म करिए और मोदी सरकार को नेशनल सिक्योरिटी पर भाषण देना बंद करिए.
It's funny because most of the crackdowns on some of these individuals was begun under the UPA, and they've done a complete U-turn now, viewers. That's also an interesting aspect. Arunima, this has been a long fight. Let's not pretend that it has only been restricted to the last 7-8 years, but the quality of the fight has changed. Men, arms, weaponry, money was poured in by the government to build up the forces so that we could actually sustain this assault on these terrorists.
Yes, if I had to pinpoint a turning point in the war against CPI-Maoist, I would say it was when 76 CRPF men were ambushed, and post that, then Union Home Minister P. Chidambaram and then Union Home Secretary G.K. Pillai ensured that, the policy against how to deal with Naxals underwent a complete turnaround. In between, there were also setbacks. There was this perception within the security establishment that when Bhupesh Baghel was in charge of Chhattisgarh government, things were not moving at the same pace that the central government would have wanted it to. So there was a discord because the Bharatiya Janata Party government was here at the center and Baghel government was there, and Baghel government's constituency was Bastar. So any attempt to upset the cart in Bastar would have affected his own constituency, the tribal constituency. That's one political reason given. But once the Baghel government moved out and the BJP government was there, both in state as well as the center, we saw once again the anti-Naxal operations gaining pace like never before. The kind of operations, I mean, just to give you an example, when something as critical as Pahalgam and Baisaran was unfolding, when Home Minister Amit Shah rushed in no time to be in Pahalgam, DG CRPF was not there. Why was he not there? Because he was given the task of carrying out an operation in Bijapur in Chhattisgarh, where they believed the top leadership of CPI-Maoist was hiding. So even in the face of a crisis in Kashmir, the focus was not lost on what was achievable in Naxal territory in Chhattisgarh. That's the kind of focus with which the center and the state have moved in Chhattisgarh, because they believe this is the last bastion. And death of Basavanna Raju, who was the former chief, he was gunned down in the first week of June this year. This statement by Abhay actually mentions that Basavanna Raju's death has forced them to rethink their strategy, and they're accepting Home Minister and Prime Minister's appeal to give up arms and try and join the peace process, try and join the mainstream.
Well, viewers, this is the map that I was referring to on the right. And remember, the Congress party recently in the vice president poll faced a lot of flack, viewers, because they picked their candidate who was a former judge, justice of the Supreme Court, who had actually struck down the Salva Judum, which was a group that was set up at the village level, etc., defense level, to take on Maoist terror. And that was struck down. So the symbolism of picking somebody who was seen to be sympathetic to the cause should not be lost, viewers, in this entire episode today. But look at this map. In 2007, I was talking about that red corridor in the center of your screens, viewers. You saw it extended all the way up from Karnataka, all the way up, viewers, to the borders of Nepal, all the way up to the border of China, and so on and so forth. You can see it's a huge, and the reddish areas are where the concentration of these terrorists was the densest. And over the years, this shrank to the point where it became almost inviolable for these people to continue. So on the corner on the top right is 2013, and then of course 2018, which was just before COVID. That's where these people had got sort of restricted to, in a border region between Andhra and Orissa, completely shrunk. And after that, viewers, over the last 7 years, more forces have penetrated and completely eviscerated these camps that were set up, which had almost become like free states within India. I just want to go back to some of our guests, and I also want to bring in Arunima once. Arunima, their progression. Just 1 second, Sanju Verma, I'll just come out to you. Just setting the facts out for our viewers. Just a breaking story. Their reactions also coming in. Arunima, this is fundamental to understand that this particular corridor extended. It was almost a free region, autonomous region within the country, where separate laws existed, where these individuals were actually carrying out what was known as a parallel government.
Yes, absolutely. From Pashupatinath to Tirupati, which means from Nepal all the way to Andhra Pradesh, they wanted to draw a red corridor where they called our democracy a pigsty. They said that the parliamentary procedure and the democratic traditions were not something that they were in agreement with. Their own diktat run, anybody could be picked up, accused of being a police informer, taken to their own court, kangaroo court as the establishment would call them, and that person could be prosecuted. And even as this step up in security and operations have been going on, there are villagers in Narayanpur, villagers in Bijapur, in Dantewada, who have been picked up by CPI-Maoists, labeled police informer, and lynched to death. So this is still happening. But I think this letter, and I have to underline this yet again, government so far is still being very cautious, because in the past too, such letters have been issued by CPI-Maoists. And like I told you, in Andhra Pradesh, the experience was they offered ceasefire, government took that offer, and just when they thought that, peace negotiations could move in, CPI-Maoists backtracked, regrouped, and attacked again, I think that's the reason that the government is being very cautious. But at the same
That's
time,
the
it's
point
a
Sushant Sareen was making.
that CPI-Maoist is at its worst position
Yes.
possible in the last 2 decades. Their back, as far as their leadership is concerned, has really been broken. Their cadre is now surrendering in large numbers. So this could be the government's
And the people
best.
who provide them ideological oxygen, the so-called urban Maoists, are also under pressure. And who sustained that ecosystem, viewers? Do I need to tell you? First, they came up with the name urban Maoists. And I'm talking about Chidambaram and the UPA, and submitted an affidavit in the Supreme Court. Then, viewers, they did a complete U-turn and started saying that these people were fighting for indigenous rights and so on and so forth. Mr. Jain, the Congress party and the way it went about prosecuting this war against red terror is completely exposed. This is what can be done if you commit muscle, if you commit men, if you have political intent. And we saw what was happening under the Congress for the largest period of time. Very clear.
Rahul, first of all, I hope that you're seeing the maps that you're showing on television right now. Those maps do not contain the entire territory of Jammu and Kashmir. They are removing the POK territory from Indian territory. So please have that fixed, number one. Number two, there are 3 maps that you're showing. One shows the extent of the Red Corridor in 2007, one in 2013, and one in 2018, right? And your viewers can very well see that the most substantial decline in terms of the red districts, the severely affected districts, happened from 2007 to 13, and the decline continues.
Mr.
Even
Jain,
if you look at the number of casualties,
the question was very simple. I don't want you to do the job of a reporter. I'm asking you a question. This is a complete. No, hang on. This is a complete. There's no narrative here. This is a stark reality. This is a stark reality. So I'm asking you, why couldn't this be achieved under the UPA?
This was achieved. Do you remember who was in the government from 2007 to 2013?
Viewers,
why are you being so
there is a problem here. There is a problem. The entire cadre of the leadership of the Congress in the state of Chhattisgarh was wiped out. They started from zero. Okay, 1 second, Mr. Jain, 1 second. Yes. Yeah.
Rahul, if you just want to peddle a narrative, there's no point of...
Okay, sir. You guys did a great job. Please, thank you very much. Yes. Sanju Verma.
Thank you. Rahul, I just want to very quickly say, 2 things.
Yeah.
Be it Prime Minister Narendra Modi or Union Home Minister Amit Shah, they've said that the only way we contained Naxalism and Maoist terror was through a 2-pronged strategy. One was to empower our people on the ground, be it the CRPF or the specialized, commando battalion called Cobra. And 2 was to ensure that development actually reached the doorstep of these Naxals and they were mainstream. The Modi government was very clear, jahan zarurat padegi, danda bhi chalega, and where the need arises, a soft carrot-based approach will be taken to ensure that these people are mainstreamed. And I think it's a balanced approach of both these measures that has finally yielded results.
Okay.
Because it's very important to realize that when Bhupesh Baghel was the CM, very quickly, 3 of the most deadliest ambushes took place, one in Dantewada, one in Sukma, and one in Bijapur.
Yeah.
Why is it that Naxal attacks have reduced and almost gone to zero after Vishnu Deo Sai of the BJP became the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh? It shows that the leadership at the top also matters. Bhupesh Baghel turned a blind eye, and I will end by saying one thing. The Nandini Sundar versus the state of Chhattisgarh judgment given by, B. Sudarshan Reddy and his acolytes, that came about when Bhupesh Baghel was the sitting Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh. So Nandini Sundar would today be shedding copious tears that, the Naxal movement has almost disappeared in large parts of Gadchiroli in Maharashtra, in Telangana, and Chhattisgarh, which were the most infested states.
Okay, well, she's not here, of course, to defend herself, so we don't know what's going through her mind. It's a conjecture. I'll leave it at that. But 1 second, I want to bring in General Pandey. General Pandey, you've been, of course, engaged in counterinsurgency a long time, but this is of a very different nature. What made the NDA government better equipped to deal with this threat than the UPA?
So, I will not get into a comparison because it will put me on crossfire in so many manners. I'm not scared of crossfires. But the fact of the matter remains that let me just see what the major change is. Somebody mentioned, I'm sure, I'm not sorry who mentioned, but leadership matters, right? Let's be very clear. So while everybody may fake around this fact, leadership does matter because it gives you direction, it gives you a push. It also at times gives you a kick from back, and also allows you to be enabled, empowered to achieve end state which are given by the government of India. Very quickly, just imagine 370. I have been there when 370 was abrogated, just about 4 or 5 months before that. I was never ever I had already done 6 tenures in Valley. I never thought any government of India will come into power which will have the gumption to remove it. It is not transformational, it is actually shocking the system to change. So like 370 was a major transformation. It has not happened only because of, we were always there. We brought the system under control. The security system always got the peace into Valley. But eventually there was a requirement of changing the entire paradigm and go to some other level. And that happened on by 370 application. Similarly, I've been watching very closely because it is security matters. National security is not only about LC and the border, but what emanates from internal is what is the cancer which eats you from inside, right? External issues are easy to handle, but internal matters are not so easy. So there are two prongs, I think, which I need to identify, and compliments to CRPF and all the security forces who were on the ground, right? Also compliments to number of unsung heroes in terms of the bureaucrats who are on the ground to have achieved what they have achieved today. But let's see, in the very slow, steady, but sure manner, the size of this red infested area has continued to reduce.
Decrease, yeah.
And it has gone on two prong. One is certain amount of development, an outreach program which has happened, but it has followed on the tail of a very, very muscular program in which large number of soldiers of CRPF and people on the ground have
a combination, says General Pandey, a combination. Yes, Sushant Sareen, raising your hand before I move on to another big story. Yes.
Apart from everything else that General Pandey is speaking about, I think what you need is also clarity.
Yes.
On what you want to do. You mentioned certain champagne liberals and champagne Maoists who love going to cocktail parties and then speaking about left-wing extremism as though it's something really nice and sexy thing to do. In the last 10 years, there was no space for this bunch of people. They could not influence policy. And I agree that Mr. Chidambaram was very emphatic when he wanted to go after the Maoists at one point of time. In fact, there were a couple of encounters in which some very senior Maoists were killed. But I don't think Mr. Chidambaram will ever agree. There were certain pressures put on him and he backed off.
Yes.
And where were those pressures put? Because these champagne liberals came and started...
Well, some of them were part of the parallel, as you know. I mean, I don't want to say it, but...
Which is why I am saying that there was no clarity on what exactly... Clarity of purpose has to be there, right?
Absolutely. So leadership, clarity of purpose, focus, and of course, viewers, a plan. I just want to quickly move on because there's been another very big development that I just want to quickly apprise you of. Sanju Verma is just here. I might take a comment from her. Viewers, a knockout punch that has landed from nowhere has taken the wind out of the Congress party's vote chori narrative. Yes, the Karnataka High Court double bench has dropped the proverbial hydrogen bomb on the Congress by scrapping the election of one of its legislators on account of vote counting fraud. The ruling annuls the election of the Congress MLA is the very same state where Rahul Gandhi recently put out reams of data, and you can see him standing there in the middle, to show that EC and BJP colluded to steal the election. In that very same state, viewers, the High Court has come out and scrapped the election of a Congress MLA. The Karnataka High Court has set aside the election of Congress legislator K.Y. Nanjegowda. Why? Because, viewers, they believe that there was a fraud in which the votes were irregularly counted. The High Court has ordered a recount of now votes polled in the Mallur constituency in the 2023 State Assembly elections. BJP's K.S. Manjunath Gowda who had lost to Nanjay Gowda, has moved the HC, alleging irregularities during counting, and after nearly 2 years of proceedings, the court ruled in the favor of a recount and declared Nanjay Gowda's election invalid. The High Court has put down an order on hold for 30 days to allow the Congress MLA to move the Supreme Court. And does, viewers, the High Court order totally undermine Rahul Gandhi's vote chori campaign? With what credibility can the Congress now accuse the BJP of stealing elections? Very quickly, Sanju Verma, this is a shot in the arm. I think we might have with us Mr. Jain also for a quick rebuttal. Yes, Sanju Verma.
You know, Rahul, there is a Hindi mein kahavat nehle pe dehla, and Rahul Gandhi.
Yes.
Rahul Gandhi has been dealt a body blow. His vote chori campaign has completely fallen apart. Who's in power in Karnataka? The Congress party.
Yep.
Who's the Chief Minister? Siddaramaiah of the Congress. He's an old Congress hand. And what did the court say? The Karnataka High Court has directed the Election Commission of India to order fresh vote counting and declare the result within the next 4 weeks.
Next 4 weeks. Quick one. Mr. Jain, quick response.
Rahul, that is
this
the point
is a
the Congress
complete
party has been making
implosion.
for such a long time, that the Election Commission is not able to hold free and fair elections, that they should investigate into their procedures and protocols. If anything, the High Court has agreed with what the Congress party is saying, and whatever judgment has come from this particular case, that has absolutely no bearing on what happened in Mahadevpura.
So viewers, this is the same Congress party that says that the Election Commission has been robbing the Congress of the election. No, hang on, just a minute. Now, very quickly, viewers, before I wrap out, this is the same Congress party, lower everyone's fade, it's the same Congress party, viewers. What has it been saying? Exactly opposite of what Mr. Jain is saying. The same Congress party has been saying that, look at the Election Commission, it conspires to defeat us. Here, viewers, it is now suddenly saying, see, the Election Commission is unreliable, it is conspiring to make us win. Viewers, this shows you exactly where the Congress party is right now. It's like a sore loser, unfortunately, blaming its tools. This is the sad state of affairs. Question institutions till the time the finger that you points back at you. Then you're stuck. Then you find that you need to change the goalposts. Viewers, just think about this. This is a Congress candidate. His election has been annulled because he indulged in quote-unquote vote chori. That's what the BJP also says, viewers. These are their words, not mine. But certainly, election irregularities, which are the words of the court. I leave it at this. Vantage up with Palki Sharma.
Presented by This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Moving on, the big story we're tracking from the national capital, the Delhi BMW crash that killed Finance Ministry officer Navjot Singh, getting murkier by the hour. Accused driver Gaganpreet Kaur has been arrested and has been sent to 2-day judicial custody. Blood sample report of the accused has now been reported to be negative for alcohol. Remember, the accused has filed a bail application and the hearing is set for September 17th. Meanwhile, Delhi police senior officials have said that the statement of Gaganpreet's husband is yet to be recorded and teams will further corroborate statements with evidence gathered, CCTV footages and statements of the witnesses as well. Police sources tell CNN News 18, confirming the key link that Gaganpreet's father, Javinder Singh, is a former director of the New Life Hospital, which basically is now fueling suspicions that the fact that the accused took the injured to a faraway hospital, the New Life Hospital, was indeed deliberate.
जो पूरा हादसा है, मैं इसकी पूरी बारीकी जानना चाहता हूँ, किस तरह से हादसा हुआ, किस तरह से इस मामले की तफ्तीश हुई और आखिरकार आरोपी को गिरफ्तार किया गया।
ये जो इंसिडेंट है ये कल का है, अराउंड 1:30 के आसपास, 1:30 बजे के आसपास का इंसिडेंट था, बट जो कॉल आती है हमारे पास वो थोड़ा लेट आती है, 2:20 के आसपास। हमारी इमीडिएटली टीम पहुंचती है ग्राउंड पे, उनको पता चलता है कि ट्रैफिक जाम की कॉल थी, बट यहाँ पे तो एक एक्सीडेंट हुआ है। एक्सीडेंट होने के बाद हम उसकी जो नियर बाय CCTV फुटेज है उनको एनालाइज करते हैं, क्राइम टीम को भेजते हैं, अपनी FSL टीम को भेजते हैं, जो भी एविडेंसेस हैं उसको कलेक्ट करने के लिए, जो साइट है और जो मोटर व्हीकल्स हैं उनका इंस्पेक्शन कराने के लिए। इवनिंग में उनका जहाँ पे GTB हॉस्पिटल था वहाँ से हमारे पास कॉल आती है कि इनको यहाँ पे एडमिट कराया गया है दिल्ली कैंट केस के अंदर। तो हमारे आईओ साहब वहाँ जाते हैं, वहाँ जाके जो विक्टिम है उनका भी स्टेटमेंट लिया जाता है एक और हॉस्पिटल से जहाँ पे उनको रेफ़र कर दिया गया था, और इमीडिएटली एफआईआर उसके अंदर रजिस्टर करा दी जाती है। जो सीसीटीवी फुटेज है हमने उसमें प्रिजर्व करा दिया है। आज मॉर्निंग में जो एक्यूज़ है गगनप्रीत, उनको वहाँ से डिस्चार्ज कर दिया गया था हॉस्पिटल से। उनको हम लेके जो भी अपनी कार्रवाई होती है उसमें हमने मेडिकल करा दिया है, कोर्ट के सामने प्रोड्यूस कर दिया है। उनकी जो स्टेटमेंट लिखनी थी वो भी हमने कर दी है। तो मोस्टली हमारी तरफ से जो तफ्तीश है वो भी जारी है, बट प्रिलिमिनरी इन्वेस्टिगेशन तो इसमें ख़त्म हो गई है। जो हम इन्फॉर्मेशन ले सकते थे वो सारी अभी तक अवेलेबल है। फर्दर आगे अगर जो कुछ नया एविडेंसेस आता है तो उस पर काम करेंगे। और जो एक हॉस्पिटल है जहाँ पे ले जाया गया, जिसके ऊपर एलिगेशंस भी लग रहे थे कि उन्होंने हेल्प नहीं करा, उनकी सीसीटीवी फुटेज भी हमने मंगा लिया है। उनका भी जो अगर कुछ ऐसा रोल निकलेगा कि उन्होंने हेल्प नहीं करा या डिले करा, तो उनका भी अकॉर्डिंगली हम करेंगे।
जब हम एफआईआर पढ़ते हैं जो 10 घंटे के बाद रजिस्टर होती है, इंसिडेंट है 1:30 बजे का, एफआईआर हो रही है रात को 11:30 बजे, उसका जो भी वर्जन है एफआईआर का वो प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस के भी अगेंस्ट है, उसके खिलाफ है, कॉन्ट्रडिक्ट कर रहा है, पूरा वर्जन ही कॉन्ट्रडिक्ट कर रहा है। अगर रैश एंड नेग्लिजेंट ड्राइविंग से किसी की डेथ है और कंट्री में वो बेलेबल ऑफेंस है, फिर वो बेलेबल ही है। आप उसको नॉन बेलेबल घुमा फिरा के कोई और सेक्शन ऐड करके करें, वो बड़ा अनफॉर्चुनेट हो जाता है। गाड़ी जो थी है BMW, वही पूरी टर्टल है। गाड़ी के अंदर जितने भी सवार हैं, हस्बैंड वाइफ बच्चे, वो भी गाड़ी के अंदर हैं। एयर बैग्स खुले हुए हैं, उनकी भी चोट लगी है। मुझे लग रहा है कि जो वर्जन एफआईआर का है या आईओ साहब का है, कोर्ट में 2 दिन का वो हो गया है, जेसी हो गई है, जेसी
2 दिन का जेसी हुआ,
2 दिन की जेसी हो गई है। हमने बेल एप्लीकेशन फाइल कर दी है, बेल एप्लीकेशन की हेयरिंग परसों।
So the key issue in this case is whether there was any intention on the part of the accused to delay taking the injured to the nearby hospital and instead take them to a hospital far away because it was connected to their family, and therefore try and maybe bury the case. So that is the big question. Why take the victim to a hospital which was 19 to 20 kilometers away? Now this is the route from the site of the accident to the New Life Hospital where the injured was taken. The finance ministry official and his wife, of course the official has succumbed, the wife has been undergoing treatment. So you can see this is a 21-kilometer stretch, and you can imagine 21 kilometers in Delhi takes a long time. On the day when this accident happened, it was non-peak hours on a Sunday, so they managed to make this journey in 30 to 40 minutes. But even that can be a too long a period when you need immediate trauma care. And look at this route. In between this route, there are multiple big hospitals where the injured could have been taken. So from AIMS to Safdarjung, on the other side of the ring road, there is Army Hospital, R&R, the base hospital, Apex Hospital, Deen Dayal Upadhyay Hospital, Kalra Hospital, Maharaja Agarsen Hospital, CK Birla Hospital. Even Fortis Hospital was closer to the New Life Hospital where the injured was eventually taken. Now this brings us to the question of mens rea, whether there was an intention to take the accused 19-20 kilometers away. During the interrogation, Gaganpreet, the accused, is saying her children had been admitted there during COVID-19 pandemic, which is why it came to her mind. However, the victim's wife and son allege that she deliberately avoided nearby hospitals because her father had been a former director in this hospital, and therefore possibly the intention was to bury the case in some ways or the other. Let me also go across to...
Hello, Namaskar. This is First Post and you're watching Vantage with me, Palki Sharma. Tonight on the show, India's neighborhood is shifting. What is the US military doing in Bangladesh, and should New Delhi be worried? We'll discuss that. Also, a first of its kind visit in China. Pakistan's President Zardari has toured a Chinese jet factory, the one that